James the Red Engine had been tasked with taking the midnight goods to Vicarstown. Every night at 11, he would collect his train. There was only one stop on this train, at Edward's station. James would stop on the right platform and wait for Gordon to thunder through with the express. Then the banker, usually Edward, would help James up and over the hill. Tonight, James stopped at the platform as usual and waited for Gordon to pass. He was making good time tonight and was ahead of schedule. Soon, Edward was ready and sat behind James's train. James reversed back to the platform so that Gordon's line was clear.
What's wrong?
Said James. Nothing, James. It's just that I thought you'd be here later. Just tired is all. James could tell that Edward wasn't telling the truth, but decided to let it go. A few minutes later, James started to hear muffled voices from inside the station. He could also hear moaning and groaning, as if somebody was in pain.
Edward, can you hear that?
Edward did not reply.
Edward? Edward, hello?
James scoffed.
Mike, can you hear something inside the other platform?
Yeah, I can.
The engine's driver replied.
I'm going to check what's going on.
He hustled across the tracks and onto the platform. He put his head close to the window, his warm breath creating a mist on the glass. As he looked around, he saw nothing but benches and a long table. He returned to James.
Nobody there.
He said,
Those noises must have been a bird or something.
I'm not sure, Mike. Those sounded like people.
Mike sighed and returned to James's cab. It was cold this evening. October usually was, but something about this cold felt different. Soon James could hear the sound of an engine approaching. Gordon, he thought. But as the sound got closer and closer, James couldn't see any train or any steam for that matter. Soon James could hear the train's whistle, and it sounded like it thundered through the station. What the? James was very confused. All of a sudden, he heard the screeching of brakes and a scream. And then, silence. James was startled. He couldn't speak. Soon the signalman walked down to the station. He had worked on the railway for many years. Mike told the signalman what had just happened.
I didn't hear anything,
The old man said,
but it did sound similar to something that's happened on the railway before.
What do you mean?
Well, it happened many years ago, before the Northwestern Railway. An engine was pulling the Midnight Express to the end of the line. As it passed through the station, a man on the platform jumped in front of the oncoming train. There was no stopping what was to come. The train hit the man head on. Somehow, he survived the impact. They brought him inside the station and laid him on a table. People in the station tended to his wounds, but to no avail. The man was right on the table, dead. They left the table in the station in memory of the man. I don't think they should have, as this isn't the first time I've heard of a story similar to yours.
James's jaw dropped.
What the hell?
So, you're suggesting the supernatural?
The old man nodded.
Thanks, I guess.
Said Mike. He was at a loss. It's true, said Edward. I know that because I was the engine that hit the man. I have never forgiven myself for that. Edward went silent.
Christ, mate.
Shortly after that, Gordon thundered through with the express. When the line was clear, James and Edward slowly puffed out of Wellsworth.